You know that moment in an argument when your chest tightens, words hover on your lips, but nothing comes out? You stay quiet, and the room feels heavier, almost as if your silence is a space-filling echo. You might feel a flicker of shame or worry that your silence makes you look weak or distant or somehow wrong. But here's the thing. Staying silent in these moments is not a flaw. It's a deeply human response. It carries meaning, it carries history, and it carries a kind of quiet wisdom you rarely hear acknowledged. What if I told you that your silence is actually speaking volumes about who you are and what you've learned to survive? This pattern of holding your tongue, of stepping back while everything inside you wants to explode, is rarely accidental. It often begins long before adulthood, shaped in the subtle textures of childhood. Maybe you grew up in a house where raising your voice meant anger or withdrawal from loved ones. Maybe your opinions were overlooked or your needs felt unsafe to express. Over time, you learned a quiet kind of self-protection. Psychologists call this learned inhibition, a way of adapting when expressing yourself feels risky. Another concept, attachment sensitivity, helps explain it too. When we sense potential conflict, our nervous system reacts, sometimes by shutting down, because it remembers a world where being vocal came with cost. It's not weakness, it's survival intelligence. As an adult, this silence shows up in everyday life, sometimes gently, sometimes like a storm you didn't see coming. You might sit across from a partner, feeling your pulse quicken, watching them speak, but all you do is nod. Or in a meeting, your ideas form perfectly in your mind, but the words never cross the table. Inside, a river of thoughts and emotions churns, but on the surface, everything looks calm, collected, maybe even indifferent. It's like being a lighthouse in a foggy harbor, steady and guiding, but aware that a storm rages beneath. Or imagine a camera lens that captures everything but never clicks. You see, you understand, you process, but your perspective remains unseen. There is a hidden cost to this strategy. Staying silent keeps you safe in the short term, but over time, it can create a quiet tension, a pressure that shows up as anxiety, resentment, or self-doubt. Research has shown that chronic suppression of emotion is linked to increased stress and even physical health effects like elevated heart rate or disrupted sleep. You might feel like the silence is neutral, but it subtly reshapes how you relate to yourself and others. It's like carrying a backpack filled with invisible stones, each one small, but together heavy enough to alter your posture. And yet, that same silence made sense once. It was adaptive. It was clever. It allowed you to navigate unpredictable spaces, to survive dynamics where speaking up might have led to confrontation, punishment, or being unheard entirely. That restraint is a form of intelligence. It's sensitivity. It's a radar finely tuned to emotional climates. You are not broken. You are not lacking. You are someone who has learned how to exist safely in worlds that were not always safe for your voice. If you want to begin gently reshaping this pattern, the first step is awareness. Notice the moments when you go quiet, not to criticize yourself, but to recognize the signals your body and mind are sending. Second, create a small internal dialogue before responding. What do I feel and what do I want to convey? Even whispering it to yourself is a practice. Third, allow micro-expressions of your truth, an eyebrow, a nod, a carefully chosen word that honor both your safety and your voice. These shifts are not about productivity or fixing yourself. They're about letting your inner world be seen in ways that feel safe and authentic. Your silence does not define you. It has been a strategy, a form of protection, a quiet testament to your resilience. Yet beneath it, there is depth, perception, and intelligence waiting to be expressed. Imagine that same lighthouse again. It can both shield and illuminate. Imagine the stones in your backpack becoming crystals, each one a reminder of how much you have navigated, endured, and understood. You are not distant. You are not invisible. You are someone who has learned to move carefully through a world that did not always make room for your voice, and that is profound. So the next time you find yourself holding back in an argument, remember this. Your silence speaks, but it also listens, it notices, it survives.
And when you're ready, it can be your bridge, not just to others, but to yourself. You are seen. You are valid. You are capable of speaking in ways that feel safe and true. And as you explore that, remember, your voice, quiet or loud, matters.